Welcome to the joint meeting between trustees of Johnson City and the City Council of Binghamton. We're here to discuss the budget for the sewage treatment plant. Please rise to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call, please.
They bent over my shoulder.
I can't see you. What's over your shoulder?
Oh, the turtle.
So we'll do the city roll call first. Councilman Scaringi,
Present.
Councilwoman Resnetti,
You all webcams.
Present.
Councilwoman Riley,
Present.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Present.
Councilman Burns.
Present.
I believe Councilman Strawn is absent, but he might be showing up later. And President Scanlon.
Present.
With one absent, Strawn. And then for Johnson City, Mayor Deemy,
Here.
Trustee Reynolds,
Present.
Trustee Walker,
Present.
I believe Trustee Giblin and Meany are absent.
Yeah, Trustee Giblin let me know he has no cell service where he is. He wasn't able to get in the location where there's service.
Okay, so we have a quorum, we can continue.
All right, I can't see everybody on the screen, so if you have a question, please identify yourself and just ask your question. Is there any questions for Charles Pearsall or Elliot or anybody else?
Yes, this is Councilwoman Friedman.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had a question on the RFP because I know that it was issued before COVID and everything, and I'm wondering if we are going to reissue an RFP given the fact that prices on most things have changed since it was initially issued.
Do you have a specific RFP in mind?
Charles Pearsall, hold on a second. Councilman Freeman, that's nothing to do with this budget though. So that's something to talk about later on, I guess. Let's stick with the budget right now. Any questions on anybody for the budget?
Yeah, I have a question.
Councilman Burns, go ahead.
I was looking today and in the positions that are not filled, that we're financing them, but we're not filling them. And I remember at the beginning of the year, there was some of the employees would come to our meeting and they told me that they were having problems filling those positions because of the threat of a private company coming in to do the management. So I'm wondering, are we still having problems filling those positions? And is there still a threat of a private company coming in?
I can't answer for resumes we haven't received, because people who don't send them in don't give us a reason why they're not sending them in. But there is some concern from people who have applied for positions when they come for the interviews. That is a discussion point.
I didn't quite hear the end of that.
I say it is a discussion point at the interviews for some of the people that have interviewed for management level positions especially.
I didn't hear what the explanation is.
He said it was a discussion in the interviews with the applicant.
Oh, it's a discussion with the interview. So do you think there's still a threat that the private company might come in to be managing the?
I haven't heard officially that the initial was put out a year ago. We received no word, so I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah.
I can't speak to it.
Would that open nature then affect this budget? The open nature of the RFP and the plan to proceed, would those people who submitted whatever then need to be a part of this budget planning process?
By my understanding, that RFP is no longer open. They die after 90 days. It would have to be reapplied, but I don't know what rules the city goes by.
I could say as a board member, I'm aware that insured bid bonds or proposal bonds or whatever bonds that the proposers had to put in with their proposals back in June of 2019 have all been returned to them. So the statement that was made earlier that there's no is based on that fact. You know, it doesn't mean that the owners might not decide to do something in the future. It's their plan, it's their prerogative.
So you're saying that if the owners were to make the decision to go through with an effort like this in the future, would that mean that we would have to create a new, like a bid selection?
That's up to the owners. This is the Joint Sewage Board's proposed budget for 2021, you know, in accordance with the intermunicipal agreement, which has not been modified. And the purpose of this budget is to provide for the proper operation and maintenance of the joint sewage treatment plant during the calendar year 2021.
I think we need to stick with that too. I mean, this is a budget process, so I don't know if anybody can, I certainly can't speculate on what's going to happen there. I don't think anybody involved in this meeting can. So we need to stick with the budget. We're reviewing this budget right now, so let's please stay on track with that. Are there questions to Mr. Pearsall or anybody at the plant? Councilman Burns.
Yeah, the rate that people are paying, that the customers are paying into the budget. There was no rate increase this year. We have not seen the mayor's budget for this coming year, but do you, and I didn't really look carefully in there, is there a rate increase in this budget?
I have to be very careful how I respond because we have no control over what the municipalities charge the homeowners.
Exactly.
Our budget is flat, but that does not have any impact on how the municipalities decide to charge the people who are connected to their sewers. We do not own the sewers, we only treat the sewage. So we have no real control over how homeowners are charged. I want to make that very clear because I got in great hot water speaking to it previously.
So you wouldn't anticipate that the city of Binghamton or Johnson City would have to have a rate increase to pay for this budget?
You would have to ask the city of Binghamton and the village of Johnson. We are not increasing our budget. We only are responsible for 35% of the total budget that's before you today. There is debt service and local systems cost beyond our control that we have no oversight over that are part of this budget. The plant is actually costing less to run, we anticipate, next year than it did this current year.
Oh.
However, that being said, debt service has to be paid.
Yes. Mr. Crown, go ahead.
I just want to know when it's been discussed, there's a flat budget. It's actually an 0.8% decrease from the current year. And that includes the part of the joint sewage fund that's the owner local systems cost, the owner debt service, and the owner flood recovery expenses, which are 64.6% of the proposed budget. So, you know, that's a pretty all-inclusive amount. However, as business manager Pearsall mentioned, each municipality has its own sewer costs and they set their own rates. So all we can say is that from our standpoint with this budget, we're proposing a slight decrease.
Could you give an estimate on what kind of changes in the future that the budget might see in order to pay off the debt service for, say, the next 5 years?
That's up to each owner municipality. I know that there's ongoing work to refinance a couple of the older bonds. It's 2010 speed bonds from the phase 3 improvements based on a more favorable interest rate. It's not something that the sewage board can tell you, Trustee Reynolds, because those bonds are the owner's bonds, and the terms and conditions for the repayment, the owners work on the negotiation of those rates with the Environmental Facilities Corporation or, through.
Maybe Mayor Demi could answer something about the, any talk of rate increases between the owners?
It all depends. It all depends. We have to, as Charlie said, there's many different pieces that go into our rates. It's, we have our own sewer fund that we have to fund in regards to just what we have to pay for the sewer plant ownership. There's also what we have to do to take care of our system within the village and everything that goes into that. So that's what goes into our rates. So we have to look at the whole picture. We just raised our rates a bit, and we are looking at, going forward, what we might have to do in the future in order to, as you said, cover the bonds that have been taken out in regards to the sewer plant upgrade and everything else that, goes on within the village sewer system and the sewer department within the village. So it's something that the board has to discuss and look at and, look at the numbers. So see where we are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You mentioned that the cost of the plant will decrease next year. What percentages are you looking at for the decrease in cost?
I don't understand that question. Is that question?
Well, no, John, what they're saying is this budget right now, which is for next year, is a decreased cost. It's gone. It's a 0.8% decrease from last year's budget.
Well, I understand that, but he said that going forward, the following year is going to decrease more.
No,
Is it
2021,
But
following discussing.
Mayor, I think.
I think we're off track here. We're discussing this budget in front of us. And for anybody in this meeting to project what's going to happen next year, I think it's irresponsible. I mean, it's hard to project what's going to happen next year.
Correct.
So I think we should stick on this budget numbers and talk about this budget. We're here to approve this budget in front of us.
I'll say this much. This is the first budget I've seen where it's gone down from the year before than it has. It's always seemed to go up and gone up quite a bit over the years. So I like to thank all who worked hard to get this budget where it is today, because it's a first as far as I know from the years I've been on the board. Thank you.
Other questions regarding this budget in front of us?
Yes, this is Councilwoman Riley. Again, I want to echo the thoughts of Mr. Demi with the hard work of this budget. And I know we went through line by line, but there's one line that I have no notes for, and I just want to make sure this is accurate. So on page 6, under legal services, J8130.54430.jobaf, we expended over 456,000, but we've not budgeted for any future legal services. Are we done? Do we need to expend? Do we need to budget for such?
That line represents a purchase order that's actually encumbered. It wasn't expensed, but we've set the money aside. The owners have an ongoing legal battle regarding the wall collapse, and that money covers the legal expenses of Mr. Barriere and his firm. There's enough money in that PO that we don't have to encumber additional for the 2021 budget year.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Oh.
Mr. Crum, go
ahead. Councilwoman Riley, another point is that due to COVID, the court systems have kind of ground to a halt. And So the lawyers that are handling this from the Hinckley Allen firm, which Mr. Verrier is a partner and is primarily in charge of this case, have told us that we're not spending the kind of money that he projected because of the fact that there's not the same in-court type proceedings right now. The case is kind of on hold. So where you see the third column from the right, where there's the encumbered or expended, 456, 557, 17, most of that money is encumbered money that hasn't been spent yet. And it's part of the reserve for the future expenses for the litigation as it proceeds through motion practice, discovery, and at some point, if there's a trial, if there's not a settlement.
Thank you for that clarification.
Other questions on the budget in front of us? All right, we're going to take a vote now. I'll lead to roll call.
Before the vote, is Chuck Shager at the city?
He's not here, Charlie.
He had proposed some changes they're small, due to refinancing of some of the cities and I believe some of the village. It's a small change. He sent it to me and I forwarded it to the clerks because there really has to be at this point a motion from the owners to change the budget. I can give you those numbers, but I would suggest while we're still open to do that, because it will make Chuck's life easier in the future.
Yeah, give us those numbers, Charlie.
It will be on pages, it's page 4 of the budget.
Forward it to us if it was sent out, because I don't remember receiving such.
Oh, it should have been. I don't know if it was, but it was requested. The
I
first
don't believe
one,
I received that. This is Councilman Friedman. I don't believe it wasn't forwarded to me.
Oh, read the lines, Charlie, and the numbers. Thank you.
the first one is the city local systems. It's J813054000.jz. It shows 2,942,234. He has requested an increase of 12,507 to make that new number 2,954,741. The next one down.
Go ahead, finish up, please.
Next
Go
one
ahead, Charlie,
down,
finish.
the village debt service. It's the JG number. It had been 5171390. That should be reduced to 5168665, which is a decrease of $2,725. And finally, the city debt service, the line JZ below that, it was 5952828. He is requesting 5,949,540, which is a $3,288 decrease.
All right, well, I'll make a motion that we accept those changes to the budget.
Second,
We got to do a vote on that, Lee, right? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, I need a motion to accept this budget.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget as stated. With changes.
Second.
It's been seconded. I'll have Lee do a roll call now.
We'll do a roll call now. Councilman Scarinci,
Aye.
Councilwoman Resnetti,
Aye.
Councilwoman Riley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
President Scanlon,
Aye.
Trustee Reynolds,
Aye.
Trustee Walker,
Aye.
and Mayor Deemy.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
That's all in favor.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody. Well done. Good job. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Same to you.
You're welcome.
He's a good guy.
Webinar.